Well, I want to talk about Christians and a gun, because sometimes Christians are total pacifists, and a lot of times, well, it depends on what the hell it is. I want to say one thing, the cat here, Putin, he's like really chilled out. He don't do nothing, basically. But he can fight like a son of a bitch when he has to. I figured that out. If he gets scared, he'll really claw it up. But hey, he's heading on out now. But I just want to point out, if you don't have a gun, if they tell you Bibles are illegal, you're screwed. You're screwed. This is a book I actually read years ago. It's Freedom on the Altar, the UN's Crusade Against God and Family by William Norman Grigg. And actually I read some other things about the case for the King James Version of the Bible. I actually agree with it too. The Catholic religion says that isn't really the correct version, but I have to say, it's good enough for me. It makes a lot more sense. It's simplicity. There's a lot of different ways that the Bible is being translated, and it could be argued that it's the devil's work that's actually changing the words around a little bit. It's just like words mean something. If it's the truth, don't change the truth. The truth can't be modified. But my main beef with Christians is a lot of them are full of crap. I'd say far more of them are full of crap than there are true ones. I think most of them are bullshit. It's not something against Christ, it's against Christians in general. Man, there's a lot of bullshit out there. But I gotta say this, if you're a pacifist and you're a Christian, you're not really a Christian. If you're a total pacifist, you're not really a Christian, because it comes down to it, the only thing that's going to give you the power to actually, as an individual, to read the Bible, it's not going to be because some government body granted it to you. And just remember, the United Nations, the world government, is against this. They're going to have a one world religion, and they're going to dictate how it's going to be. There's not going to be freedom of religion. So if you want to argue with me about your pacifist arguers and shit, go right ahead, because it's sickening that I'm actually fighting for your rights in a lot of ways, even though you're being against me. I want to say this though: the gun is the most important thing that's going to protect your rights and your religious rights. Because if you look from experience, the powers, the control freaks, and it don't matter what the hell bullshit system it is, just call them control freaks. The type Class A personality, the sadists, the egotistical maniacs, and all this other shit. Power-hungry people that have a hollow pit, whatever the hell you want to call them. They hate religion because you're basically doing your own thing. They're God. They want to be the God. You're supposed to worship them. Nobody else. That's the way it is. They got such a freaking big ego. There are people like that, and it's like, Lenin, he killed all those people in Soviet Union, right? Over religion. There was a lot of people in the KGB and before the KGB that killed hundreds of thousands of people just because of religion. So, if you don't have a gun, you're screwed. Basically, you give up your gun rights, you give up your religious rights too. That's just really how it is. If you quote some bullshit line out of the Bible someplace, I call it a bullshit line out of the Bible. Not that I'm saying it's the Bible itself, but it's almost like charts and statistics. You can make anything look one way or the other with charts and statistics, and you can do the same crap with religion in the Bible. But if you quote some crap out of the Bible that you're supposed to be a pacifist and God will take care of it somehow, you're full of it. That's all I gotta say. You're full of it. You're not being a disciple of Christ at all. You're a freaking piece of shit, a worm. So I say is you stick with your weapons no matter what. Now I saw something on YouTube about Piers Morgan arguing with some sheriff from Milwaukee, and a guy was saying that everybody should get trained with weapons and take up their own self-defense, if you want to. Not that he had to, but since they're cutting some of the police force down. And Piers was telling him you're coming on there with your John Wayne voice, telling everybody to argue and to get weapons and arm yourself with your John Wayne voice. That guy, I can easily just look at him and I'm saying, Piers, you're coming at me with your royal British accent, condescending, know-it-all attitude and telling me what the hell to do. Fuck you. That's what I would have told him right there. it's like I don't really knock the UK or the English people, but I could say one thing: they appoint judges over there, right? They appoint them. You know what they do over here in the United States? They elect them. You know why? Probably goes back to tradition because some of these judges were so fucked up they probably got knocked off. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? They elect him. The judge is so screwed up, he don't get elected. He's out. You see? They don't get appointed. They don't get appointed. So, there's a little more freedom here in the United States. But the basis of that freedom is the gun. And I'm going to point something out about this one. This is like Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum. It's a medium weight 357 Magnum. It's unloaded, as you can see. It's double action. You just pull the trigger and, it goes, you don't have to cock the hammer and pull the trigger. But I got to say this. This weapon, you can argue, is less safe than one of those semi-automatics with the clips that has like 10 or 15 rounds in it because it's always ready to shoot, right? You pull the trigger, right? And if it's on single action, it's a very light pull, probably like 1.5 pounds or something, right? And, if you have a semi-automatic, you got to put the magazine in, pull the slide back, then you got to take it off as safe, right? So you got to do a few steps. So these guys, it's like you can argue any damn thing there is. But I got to say this. One of the big problems is, CNN is endorsing Piers Morgan. Who's pushing Piers Morgan? American people? No, CNN is. But who the hell is watching CNN? A lot of people? Yeah, that's the problem right there. I don't understand why people watch that shit. I see little clips of it on YouTube once in a while, but I don't watch CNN. It's a pile of bullshit. It's bullshit. I don't give a damn what CNN says. If I see anything, even on the internet, by CNN, and it has an advertisement before it, I immediately click it off. Because I don't even want them to get a fucking penny. Nothing. I'll make sure they don't even get revenue from me from the internet. I'll watch it third party some other way. I don't want CNN to get a dime from me anyway, even if it doesn't cost me anything. I just don't want them to have money. Period. So, I gotta say this though. You damn Christians that are fake Christians, which is actually the majority of my belief, because you're a bunch of freaking worm pussies, kiss people's ass and you're all pacifists when it's up to you, because that's the easy way out, You can go to hell. If there's a genocide in the future, I don't want to be part of it. You guys can be part of it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to counterattack. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to counterattack. Jewish people might get mad at me, but I'm going to counterattack just like the Waffen SS did. But I ain't against Jews. I apply Waffen SS Nazi strategy for the rabbi. You know what I mean? I like Jews, man. They're all right. They ain't wacky like Christians. That's why I like them. So, but, I like Jesus. I like Jesus' words. He makes a lot of sense. And, I got all kinds of Bibles, and I read a lot of different things on religion and stuff. But it ain't that complicated. You know what? One reason I like the King James Version is because it's like at a low reading level. You know what that means? It is really designed for everybody. It's not like you got to have a PhD in religion to understand some shit. And that's why if somebody comes out, oh no, you got it wrong because the Bible says you know what I say to those people? You're full of shit. The Bible's made for everybody. Once you try to complicate it, I already know you're full of shit. And that's almost like I look at it with finance and silver. Once you try to complicate it and obscure it with lots of charts and graphs, I know you're full of shit. You're selling something. You might as well be selling me an annuity. So, that's what I got to say about that. But anybody who's a Christian believes in gun control, they ain't a Christian. They're a pile of shit. They're a socialist, communist pig. That's all I got to say. That's all they are. That's all they are. There's a lot of Christians that fall in that group. A lot of false Christians out there. So I don't have nothing against Christ. But I do have a problem with probably most of the Christians out there. I think they're full of shit. Christ wasn't like that. Nah, he wasn't. Not at all. I don't know what the hell I would have done back in that time. I probably would have freaking not cut the damn soldier's ear off. I probably would have cut his fucking balls off, then cut his head off. But, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, later.